Katie, and welcome back to my booktube channel. Welcome to Bookmas Day 4. Today is my Christmas wish list, or books I'm hoping to see under the tree. So this video is kind of broken down into a few different categories because some of these books you can't really find in stores. You have to order them online, so I have them organized into a couple different categories for you guys to kind of help make it a little easier. But this first category, these are books that I've already read but I don't own yet, so I'm really hoping to get them for Christmas. The first one is Wait For It by Mariana Zapata. Mariana has quickly become one of my favorite authors because she is so great at writing slow burns, and this also has some like baseball elements to it, which I've been loving sports romances, and it's a slow burn. It's kind of like a grumpy sunshine, enemies to lovers sort of. It's just so sweet, and it also follows a girl who is raising her nephews because of something that happened to her brother. So you also get like this really adorable little family throughout the whole book, and it's just so good. I want to own this one so bad, and I really hope to see it under the tree, so fingers crossed. The next one on this list is The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. I'm still not sure how to say her name, so let me know down below if I'm saying it wrong because I want to say it correctly because I'm obsessed with this book. You've probably seen this book on some kind of social media platform. Everybody's been talking about it, and I was kind of worried to start it, but it was literally so worth the hype. It exceeded all of my expectations. This book has all of my favorite tropes in it, so I have to own it. I want to be able to annotate it. I want to be able to reread it whenever I want, and this cover is just adorable. It makes me so happy every time I see it, so I want to physically own it. This book has fake dating, grumpy sunshine, enemies to lovers. It has a slow burn romance. It also takes place partially in the workplace. It has like so many popular tropes and so many tropes I love. It is just so good. So if you haven't read it yet, add it to your wish list. This next category are books that you can find in stores. So Mom, if you're watching, these are some books I would like under the tree. But the first one is Shipped by Angie Hockman. So this book essentially is an enemies to lovers workplace romance where these two people are going for the same promotion. And part of this promotion, I think they have to put together a proposal, and in order to do that, they are forced to go on this like work cruise basically. So these two people who hate each other are going on a cruise together, and that sounds so cute. I've never read a book like that before, so I would love to read this book. After that, we have The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. You guys have probably seen this everywhere. It's so popular. It's now being adapted into a movie, so I think that's coming out in 2022, so I'm really hoping to read the book before the movie comes out. For those of you that don't know, it's also like an enemies to lovers workplace romance. Grumpy sunshine. I've heard the love interest is a super grumpy person, and it, like I said, it's being turned into a movie, so it has a bunch of tropes I enjoy, and now is like the motivation I need to finally pick up this book. After that, we have probably the only fantasy on this list, and that is All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. This one gives me Daughter of the Pirate King vibes, which I loved that duology by Trisha Levenseller, so every time I see this cover, it makes me really want it, but for some reason I haven't bought it for myself, so I would be literally so excited to see this one under the tree. It's about, I think, like pirates and mermaids, and I feel like there's also probably a great romance in here. I can't remember if there's like 2 or 3 books in this series. I'm not positive, but regardless, it looks so good. And then the last book in this section is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. There are 2 or 3 other books in this series as well, so I am so far behind on this series. But this is another one that I see in stores all the time, and I always am like considering buying, but I haven't done it yet, so I really need to get on this. This book sounds so good. From what I know, it's this girl who basically is, I don't know if she's like invited or, okay, so basically this like guy dies, and he basically has her, I think, move into the house along with his 4 grandsons. And I think the house is filled with like riddles and puzzles, and nobody really knows why she is included in these games that are happening. She really doesn't either, but she's basically stuck in this house with these 4 guys that she doesn't know, who obviously hate her because they thought they would be getting all of the inheritance. And I guess there's like a whole bunch of puzzles and stuff they have to solve in order to see who's going to get the inheritance. At least that's what I get from the synopsis. It's been a while since I've read it, but it sounds so good. And I think it's like a mystery, like thriller kind of vibe. And I'm pretty sure there's also romance in this series. So it sounds right up my alley. So we are now moving on to the last category, which is books that can only be found online, or at least I haven't been able to find them in any of the stores near me. And the first book is Flock by Kate Stewart. I have heard so many people rave about this series, but nobody will talk about what it's about. They all say that you should go into this series completely blind. So I've made sure to not read any summaries of this book. I still haven't really figured out what it's about, but apparently that's how you're supposed to go into it. All I've heard is that the first book, you're going to be very confused even by the time you finish it. I've heard the second book literally destroys people and makes them sob. And that's really all I know. I know people get really emotional when they talk about this series, and I don't like not knowing what it's about. So I just need to read it because so many people are obsessed with it, and I want to be one of those people. After that, we have The Legacy by Elle Kennedy, and this is the 5th book in the Off-Campus series that recently came out. And all I can really tell about it is that it's supposed to be the epilogue novel of the Off-Campus series. So we get to revisit the 4 couples we fell in love with, and I think that we see them in the future. I think some of them are getting married. Maybe there's still, maybe they have kids. I'm not really sure. I just know it's an epilogue novel, and I know that each couple, I think, goes through some kind of conflict. I'm not too sure. I've heard mixed reviews about it, but because of how much I love the Off-Campus series, I really, really want to finish it out and see where all of my favorite characters are today. This next one is probably at the very top of this entire wish list, and that is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. And all I know is that this involves a billionaire who I think is trying to run Dreamland, which is essentially like Disney World sort of, and he bumps into one of the employees who has all these really great ideas, and so he hires her. Actually, I don't know if she was an employee originally or just somebody at the park, but he hires her to work for him and kind of implement a bunch of her ideas. So this is a workplace romance and also Grumpy Sunshine. So I'm so excited. I love books that kind of feel like a fairy tale, and I feel like this totally will. Also, I don't know if I mentioned that he's a billionaire, but that's another trope people really enjoy. And people have been saying so many amazing things about this. I want to read it so bad. Up next, we have The Sweetest Oblivion by Danielle Laurie. I don't really know anything about this trilogy. I have seen it around Book Talk so many times, and I know that these are mafia romances, and one of my favorite booktubers, Larissa, is obsessed with it. She just read it recently, and she fell in love so quickly, and that makes me even more excited to read it because she has never led me wrong so far, and I really want to get my hands on this. It looks so good. I feel like I say that for all these books. It looks so good, but it's the truth. That's why they're on my wish list. I literally want to read these so bad. Last but not least, we have The Heir by Sophie Lark. I just recently read my first Sophie Lark book and loved it, and this is a series I've seen everywhere. It looks so good. I don't really know too much about it. I think it takes place at a college. I'm pretty sure it involves mafia, and that's really all I know. I think this first one is like friends to lovers. It's like a forbidden friends to lovers. I'm not really sure. I just feel like this series looks so cool, and I love that the titles of each of them are in like a neon color, kind of looks like a neon sign, and I feel like that would look really cute on my bookshelf. So just saying, it would look really great. That is the end of my Christmas wish list video. I could have added so many more books to this list. The amount of books that are on my TBR is like endless, but these are like the top books on my TBR at the moment that I would love to own a physical copy of. But if you guys enjoyed this, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Also comment down below what books you're excited to get for Christmas. And If you do subscribe to this channel, please also click the notification bell so you know when I upload next. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in my next video.